Size session with me, Miles from Miles Marketing. Now, today's topic is all about lead generation using automation. Now, normally I have a fancy graphic here. I have these produced. They're the same week in, week out. We just change the text, but this little bit here where you can see me has to be transparent. Otherwise, there's an overlay. And I went to load the graphic, and it was a solid color. So hence why I'm just using something generic today, but that won't spoil what we've got to say. You know that we're live every single Tuesday, and next week we've got a very special guest. We've got a fantastic photographer and videographer, the lovely Elizabeth Keats, who is coming on to talk about the importance of video when it comes to SEO within your website. So don't miss that. Fantastic lady, and she'll be shedding a lot of hints and tips on that particular subject. So tune in next week to watch that. But back to what we're talking about today, lead generation using automation. Now, right from the very top, I want to just apologize if I sound a little bit off key today. I've got the old man flu, and you know how we suffer. Yeah, we do, eh? But anyway, so apologies. I can't hear a thing, right? So who knows what I sound like. But today, talking about this lead generation using automation, I could go into a hell of a lot of minutiae, the detail over this, but I'm not going to, because we like to keep things sort of nice and bite-sized and simple to understand. So I'm going to talk very sort of top level here. And if you haven't got any automation within your setup at the moment, I'm going to give you some pointers as to where you should start. So, look, lead generation, automation, we're talking about the use of AI again, I guess. But automation's all about working a little bit smarter rather than a little bit harder. And all of these things are meant to make your funnel, if you like, a little bit more efficient. If you run your own business, one of the hardest things to do is to keep the customers poured in at the top end so that you've got a nice pipeline of work to run through. So this is all about making your marketing funnel efficient. Okay. Now, let's look at some different areas of focus. So the first thing that you need to think about is this, and this is the one thing that I'd say to you that you should focus on if you don't do any automation within your current business setup. All right, I like to sort of give a little bit of a heads up as to what's the most important bit to focus on, because if I give you 20 bits to focus on, you'll never get them all done. So if I can steer you to this particular one, then that's what I want to try and encourage today. Database. I mean, I talk a lot about databases, right? And I'm just making sure that we are indeed live. Sorry about that. Any questions that you may have, please pop them in the chat. I'll do my very best to answer them live on air. So yeah, your database, building your list and expanding your data collection. Now, how do you build your database or your current list of customers? Traditionally, I guess you'd have been handed a business card, right? And then you'd have put that in your Rolodex, for those that are old enough. Now, especially in the advent of GDPR, you will be putting your contacts into your CRM system, your customer relationship management system. There are plenty of them. We've gone over this before. If you're struggling to find one, please drop me a line. I always do that the wrong way around. Drop us a line on my WhatsApp and I'll send you some suggestions. But how do you increase your database without going out there and doing the meet and greet and the coffee with lots of people? Well, it's about data capture. right? Through your website mainly. You may well have an app within your business, but most people are going to have a website or your social media platforms. But it's a little bit more tricky through your social media. I would say doing it via your website is the right way to go. So you want to think about, when you land on some people's websites, a little pop-up appears, slightly annoying, I guess, but it says something like, claim your 10% discount off your first order for subscribing to our newsletter. All right, or our email list, or you have some sort of contact form on your website where you're collecting names, addresses, emails, etc. You might want to think about putting things behind not a paywall, but a sort of a restricted special area. So maybe there's like a little bonus. Sign up here, give us your email, and you get some bonus content, maybe. You might want to think about what they call gamification. So maybe sort of weaving some kind of, game into your website, spot the whatever it may be, in order for a chance to win. So there are plenty of different ways to engage people once they've landed on your website. Another good reason to get people to fill in forms is it takes a little bit of time, and that increases the dwell time. But, data is so valuable. And what I would say to you in terms of the customer journey is that not everybody's ready, all right, for your services right now. I'll talk about a customer in a second that signed up with me last night that I spoke to 3 months ago, right? So not everybody is ready at the particular time that they speak to you. So you want to make it nice and easy for you to communicate with them over a period of time, and for you to be in the front of their mind when they are ready for your services. One of the things that I chose not to do here is to have people sign up to view this webinar every week. Using LinkedIn Live is pretty unique, but if you're going to run a one-off webinar and you're going to host it, say maybe on Eventbrite, then getting people to fill in that form will add to your data collection. So that's the first thing, and that's the very first thing and the most important thing that I would encourage you all to do in terms of how do you integrate automation into your business? Well, do it through your website and through the gathering of data and increasing your database, because until you've got your database up and running and being populated, any other automation is a bit of a waste of time, right? Because you need them within your system already. So what do you do once you have them within your system? Email marketing. And this is where it's important to pick your CRM wisely, right? There are specific, there are email specific CRMs like MailChimp as an example. There are plenty of others available. Or you have ones which are a little bit more generic across the board, maybe like a HubSpot. But they all have email marketing integrated into them with lots of fancy templates, etc. So wherever you decide to store your list, just think about the how you're going to use your list ongoing. And like we've spoken about before, take a little bit of time. The majority of CRMs allow you a grace period or a free period before you need to start paying. But make sure that you are, comfortable using it, because some of them are a little bit more intuitive than others. But they're all pretty much of a muchness. But making sure that you're able to utilize your database properly with your email list is really, really important. I would say that the most important thing to do with your email list is to segment it. If you've got different sort of customers or different products, then make sure you place people in different buckets, because when you come to trigger your automation, you can either include or exclude particular lists from said emails. But the important thing here is, and a lot of these platforms, they're quite intelligent, and they'll allow you to monitor and trigger follow-up emails based on what people click on and look at, but what people engage with on an email. So let's say, as an example, I send out an email and there are 3 different bite-sized products on that email. If you set it up right, then you can analyze, once your email campaign is completed, how many people have clicked on bite-sized LinkedIn as a product. Then what you can do is you can set up an automation at a particular period after that email has gone out to follow up with a further email that talks specifically about bite-sized LinkedIn. Yeah, so you're much more likely to catch the fish that you want with by using the right bait. You know, they've already shown an interest in bite-sized LinkedIn by clicking on it in the first place. Look, they may or may not want to know more about it, but ultimately, this is about homing people down into your funnel. And if they're interested in it, and you can send them further information. What's really important with that further information, though, is that you set them up with a really good call to action. And I'm always an advocate of taking people from the email to a web page that's specifically designed for that product or service, where you can convert them. And we'll talk about that in a second. So, that's the second thing, or the main automation, I guess, is the email automation. So once you've built your database, get your email marketing going. And look, a lot of people sort of ask this question: how many emails should I send? How often should I send them? I'm going to say, please don't send people emails every day. They will unsubscribe, right? Email once a week. Well, that's quite a lot if you haven't started doing it. You know, even if you wanted to say, right, I'm going to start off by sending all of my database an email once a month. And for those that engage with a particular section of your email, maybe send them a follow-up. Because what I want you to do is I want you to think about analyzing your email. Don't just, just because something's automated to happen, don't just sort of let it happen obliviously. You've got to start analyzing your open rates, what people are clicking on. You've got to start doing some A/B testing. You know, did that image work better, or more text, less text? You know, it's really sort of personal to you. So don't take it lightly. If you can afford to give your email automation to a third party, that's what I'd recommend you do, because they're specialists. If you can't, you need to put in the legwork yourself. Any questions out there? Pop them in the chat. I shall do my very best to answer them. Now, here's an approach. And some people may think this is quite a controversial way of looking at things. But if you can, try and eliminate humans or human contact. Not only does it make life easier for you, right, in terms of your time, but I can tell you now that the vast majority of your customers do not want to interact with you. All right. I guess this comes from the age that we live in, and we're now very au fait with buying things online and using Amazon on almost a daily basis, where you don't have to speak to a human being. As long as your system is set up, though, in order to be able to handle it. So the utopia, if you like, is that your clients are able to be pulled into your sales funnel and also purchase a product without you actually touching them, as it were, or speaking to them. So this integration would look something like you've had a form on your website where you've been able to gather their email address. You've then sent them out a follow-up email from visiting your site on whatever page it was they were looking at. You've then taken them to a specific landing page, which has a call to action, and then they're able to purchase your product. Now, it's important to remember as well that when you do these things, that don't just think about getting people the leads from the automation. Think about how you can utilize automation to follow up and make sure that their interactions with you are good. So, once somebody commits and buys into you, that should trigger another email out that says, welcome to whatever it is that you've bought, right? And then they go into a different bucket within your CRM where you're having different conversations with them about products which are perhaps new and add-ons to the current product they bought, as an example. So think about how you sort of pull that customer through their relationship with you. I'm gonna talk specifically about a customer last night, right? And I say last night because my phone went bing at about 8:45, and there was a notification saying that someone had bought one of my products through the website. And the way, I mean, I haven't got it set up perfectly, right? But the way in which it's set up for me is that obviously they can come onto my website and purchase through it, but it's linked through the Calendly, because in terms of products that I sell, I'm selling my time, if you like. So it's important that you sort of get your head around why I'm utilizing it that sort of way. But if you wanted to buy one of my bite-sized coach packages, as an example, you go onto my website, you click on the icon, that takes you to a Calendly link where it explains to you what it is that you're buying and exactly how much it costs, and then it shows you the availability. So you're able then to click buy now. You go to a Stripe payment gateway. It then takes your payment, and then it allows you to book into my diary for your slot. So it's completely automated from that point on. And what was nice, if you like, is that sitting on the sofa at 8:45 last night, I was doing business and it wasn't interrupting me watching the telly. The vast majority of people would be doing business like a 9 to 5, right? Which is what we do. But wouldn't it be great within your business if, like, when you were asleep, people were logging in and buying your products? Okay, so it is possible. You just have to sort of think about how you can automate it. So I'm going to say to you, I'm going to finish up this little webinar by saying, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. I could have gone into a lot of detail today about, cookies and tracking and all this sort of stuff. But what I really want you to take away from this is, if you don't have any automation, think about starting with building your database. Okay, think about integrating online forms into your CRM systems, capturing the data, building your database, and then through your CRM system, right, spend time homing your emails. Make sure that you're being specific when you're sending emails, that they're relevant to the people that are receiving them, and make sure that you keep them really nice and tight with your CTAs, your call to actions. And, think about, can they buy your product? I mean, who'd have thought, right, that sort of a personal service would able to be bought through the internet, when there's complications like, when you go to do it and how you go about it and all that sort of fun stuff, when it can be done. There are plenty of integrations there. So think about the CRM system that you use. Think about an online diary like Calendly. I can't fault it personally. Think about having a payment gateway. It doesn't have to be one of these Shopify things that costs a lot of money. Stripe just take a percentage on the transaction. So there's plenty of different automation integrations that you can find out there. So that's it, really. I wanted to keep it extremely simple. Do I keep it simple for you or keep it simple for me? Right. But, these things have to be simple in order for them to be implemented. I've been chatting to Liam lately. Hello, Liam. I know you said you were going to listening later on today. Liam started out his own business, and I know that he's building his database, and he's got a health and fitness business. And that's very much sort of hot and cold with people's appetites, if you like, for getting fit, right? People can get very sort of excited about it and then go off the boil. So, I would stress to Liam to build up his database and keep the regular contact. And maybe once he's converted people to come along and be a part of his fitness journey, that the motivational sort of side of it comes, because what you might find is that some customers do need daily motivation to get out of bed and hit the gym. So, maybe Liam could think about sort of generating that kind of automation for his business. So it's never sort of straightforward, but I would always be an advocate of start off simple and just, get the basics right. Build your CRM. Start experimenting with email campaigns through your CRM and make sure you sort of analyze them and start to sort of send out things that are relevant to certain people, and then make sure that you've got the call to actions in place. Justin's asking, what CRM do I use? I use HubSpot, and it's a little bit like the Busman's Holiday. Yeah, I mean, I'm not great with it, right? And I don't do enough of this automation. So certainly when I was doing the research into this, it's given me a little bit of an impetus to be a little bit more on the ball with my management of my email campaigns and my CRM. So you may well be seeing me slipping into your inbox sometime soon. Karen, thank you very much indeed for watching. Look, tune in next time to see Elizabeth. We're here every single Tuesday at 12:30. But for now, ta-ta.